We are empowered and hardworking women. Hard work is all we know. Our lives have transformed from the way it was before. We are transiting from the level of hardship we once found ourselves in. Tresor Women Warriors has taken us women of Nyamina from sitting around and being idle. Since this initiative commenced, what we have been doing is to build our capacity and empower the group. The goodwill that Aji has for the people in this country, that is the same goodwill that we have for her. The whole country now knows about Tresor Women Warriors.
We're brave, we're fearless, we're survivors, we're courageous, we're givers, and above all, we're warriors. Women empowerment is everything. In the Gambia, we're 52% of the population. And for that reason, and women are very, very critical in our dispensation, both economically and also in the country as a whole. So women empowerment is everything, and it should be everything. And it should be everybody's business. And that's the reason why we're passionate about it.
If we talk about a country, it is because of the women and the youth. The manner in which women are being assisted is applauded. I wish to praise Ajikumba yet again for her efforts. The reason being, anyone that assists women, it is as if you are assisting the entire country. If you hear us talk about the family, it is because of the role of the women. So, Ajikumba, we are praying for Allah's blessings so that you are able to increase your support.
We're actually very, very passionate about women. Of course, we're women, and women are 52% of the population in this country. And we actually champion for the aspiration of women, and we believe that the issue of women empowerment, it's no longer about men and women, but it's a national issue. So for that reason, the Tresor Warrior Women is very, very passionate about making sure that women in the Gambia live to their full potential.
Furin bi mu ngi ni luñu neex lañuy togg luñu neex lañuy lek xamu teggi tank ñun da ragaluñ kenn dem rek ku demul ni dañuy dem rek wa xamu teggi tank nak ku fe yex saxé ñi nañu dem bu ne doomi Gambia feug buntam ñi tamit feug ci loxoy te dañuy hubbil bay fo samu sa neex la lu waral lo yépp ñun jambalé jigéen dañoo liggéey dans sun doole ñu liggéey leen xam xamuñ dara de lo moy liggéey kër kass yaay leen la tok da waxa ba ngon jot way lo fu ne passé na.
The goals and the vision of the Tresor Warrior Women actually is my goal and also my vision, because our legacy and our success is going to be dependent on the success of the women of the Tresor Women Warriors. We aspire to be independent. We aspire to be champions in our country, but politically we champion also to be financially independent. We champion to be great mothers and great wives in this country. We champion to be a very, very critical and important part of this society. So our aims really is to be the best citizen that we can in this country, and by also contributing to national development.
Behind these gates is the headquarters of Tresor Women Warriors, located right here at Queen Nile Community, where we get to see the magic that takes place.
Agriculture is very, very important, and as we know, is the backbone of every society. We have to feed our people, and now the big thing is to talk about food security. We're seeing food sovereignty because as Africans, as a nation, we need to feed our own people, and who better to do that than importing all this food coming from other places. So the Tresor Women champions agriculture because it's also the way to the future.
Yo ni bungo mi belorinja ni bungo ni aja kumbanata pour ka musol sembentu ya o sembentu ya tol fanan be wala la jam yo kabiringa datita nin sayentema be mina wala mu nyinti ka kul fanundi minketa ala hamen ko mu minti pour kana kanso sembola jang be kul la jamil yalon ko gadi nolo be irolu tutula be kuyfila gadi nol folo nga folo irole la pakayal bi janne biabol bi jang andu ne munol fanam bi janne mi yalon ko ol fanam dim fengol lam bananol be jang salatol bi jang mentol bi jang jabol bi jang fenjama mem bi jang.
We currently have 7 farms all across the country, and we're growing maize, groundnuts, coos, and literally feeding our community.
Andu nyulbe nka tuba jambando ntende be jambando ninsi buo anin babuo ha nka wolelta pour que so sembola. Yo ani jambando do bi jefa de kema ka sanne pour nyin kam mayiro se sembo soto nyami pour na do ko sitano nyaato nyami ana nyon jaman jamawol andu nga jele ko komen way falindiro natin tol muso la kar wala janne ala tentu wala bakele kabira da ta fokana soti bila ha kuma yata baken tol bulle kende.
We want to actually be women millionaires in this country by investing in agriculture too, because it's the way to the future and it's a great business. And we want to feed our people. We want to be key players in it for that reason. Most importantly, feed the nation. One of the key pillars of the Tresor Women is agriculture. We have actually established poultries all across the country, and 7 poultries in Banjul, CRR, Quinala, LRR, and also growing. So we want to be key players in the poultry industry in this country. So we champion poultry farming too as well, with the main goal of advocating for the ban of the importation of poultry products in the Gambia. So this is also part of what we do in establishing poultry.
Ntol kasise malayando ke poultry kasise ol malayandi ni menta nke wafi minge wafi ka profito nyin samba na account nyin to nga ko dota ko te nga sise dolsa nga sise domorosa nga sise wol baloni ko tek nun do benu nyame say man tara wo nyama ba agulindi kan fuare ya nyimbe talaka musul kan no ma wakil ne fa nan ka do ko nyin continent.
I was one of the first women to start poultry in this area. There was a moment when I had 200 chickens, and when I realized that there was a woman facing challenges and was also fortunate to have space at her house, I decided to give her 100 chicks in order to assist her. Women need to believe in themselves. Whatever men can do, women can do much more. Since we commenced this business, all the women came on board. Once we got profit from the business and the investment made by Tresor Women Warriors, I had to give the money to the group at Mahmoud Fana. As a result, $100,000 was given to the women of Mahmoud Fana and the other 100,000 to those at Balanga. The women that were supported at Mahmoud Fana have now used Tresor Women Warriors' profit of 25,000 to set up another group. So the money has not left the area. Ajikomba made sure that she built our capacity in financial management before giving money to members of the group.
This is Palin Lower Basic School, one of the very many schools being sponsored by Tresor Women Warriors.
I'm very, very passionate about education because people need to be educated about the world, about the environment, and also to really know who they are, and particularly how to do things, and how to think, and how to process things. As an education is one area that can make a lot of the world problems go away. We're in Palin Balangar. It's in CRR, in Central River region. It's an elementary school, and then primary school, as they say. It's a primary school, and from grade 1 to grade 6. But in these communities, most of the students in the community speak Wolof because they are more of like the Fana community. And teaching in these schools can be pretty challenging because most of the kids in this region speak Wolof. So you have to incorporate actually Wolof into the teaching. So it's very challenging because you have to say the things that you're saying in English and then translate in Wolof. and translate back in English for them to understand. But I guess it's just a way of ensuring that they comprehend and understand what you're trying to teach them. We teach math, English, social studies, as well as Quranic studies and all the subjects that you teach in the primary schools. But it's just incorporating also, particularly in the ECD classes, which is the early development learning classes. You definitely have to incorporate both the English and the local language into the teaching and the curriculum. And it's fascinating but challenging, but it helps them understand. Grade students, when we first started here in Palembang, the kids actually couldn't even speak English. They were speaking Wolof. But now, after so many years, the Tresor Warrior Women, in partnership with even the Vice President of the Tresor Warrior Women, we've been able, in the past couple of years, for the last 10 years, provide all the writing materials, the reading materials, as well as also teaching, to volunteer to teach in the schools. As the president of the Tresor Warrior Women, I've taught 1 year in Palembang. I've brought more of the early development class, because when we came, enrollment was very, very low. We had to actually encourage them to bring their children to school, really motivate them to bring them, and around it, all the young people in the village brought them, and we started actually the lower ECD class. And it's been very, very fascinating, and they've done very, very, very well with the interventions that we have made here in the school in Palembang. It's our passion, access to quality education, particularly in these rural communities. It's very, very challenging, and it really breaks my heart that they don't have the same access and the same quality as in the counterparts in the urban areas, but with interventions, and hopefully there will be more interventions to ensure that the rural communities have the same access in terms of technology, in terms of computers, learning materials, exercise books and textbooks. These are all the things, these are all challenges in the communities. And if you look at the parents in these communities, they're pretty very, very poor, and particularly in this area. So creating a PTA allows us, and also the garden, we have this garden called the Zainab Musa Dabo garden. It allows us also, the parents, to be able to buy uniforms and books and bags, actually not books because we provide the books, shoes and all that stuff to make it very easy for them, because even an exercise book for most people in these communities is very, very difficult for them to be able to afford these things. So hopefully with our intervention and so many other interventions all across the country, we will be able to create quality access education. As Africans, I think it's very, very important to invest in education and also to advocate for access to good quality education, because if we're not educated, we cannot be successful in agriculture. If we're not educated, we will not be successful in entrepreneurship. If we're not educated, basically all the pillars that we have in the Tresor Warrior Women will not become a reality, and nations will not succeed. We need the knowledge, and knowledge is power. And we want to gain that power, and so that we will be able to enrich and empower ourselves. And education is a way to do that.
The Tresor Women Warriors here in Balangapalen community give a grand welcome to their executives.
Not everybody can sit in an office. Private enterprise is very important. And I think it is actually the vehicle into nation building as well. And I think building the right skills and developing the right skills, and so that people will be able to be self-independent and also self-employed. And I think these are very, very key to getting our nation to where it needs to be, and also to employ, for people to also be entrepreneurs, build their own businesses. These businesses will in turn really help increase employment in our countries.
So here's the soap making team in Palan. This is how they make the soap. Basically, they put water, oil, cooking oil, and soda, however you want to call the soda. So that's what they mix together. When they mix it together, they let it dry. And once it's dry, they cut it up and then grade it. This is the grader they use. So actually, she's going to interpret it and she's going to do it. This is how they do it. And then this is the end result. They get detergent from it.
I think entrepreneurship, building businesses, is also critical to governments being able to raise more taxes. And these taxes will be in turn be able to help education, be able to help infrastructure, be able to help build our nations to how we want it to be. And entrepreneurs do that. And entrepreneurs are really the building block of any nation. So we're very, very passionate, and it's one of the major pillars and the main pillars of the Tresor Women Warriors too as well.
Aja kumbaka musole dema dunia kono. Ay banko muso bedema saka bota banko men kan ko inela samba jeno ay mo bedema mbaja kumbaten tulala o de barola dolla inde maro to bo leten kuburo mbo walla ha nga karabulo le ken tolla ka foto mo dafe kundalete be karabulo late mbani safna do kol aja kumbalen dema bara ngala tento akono bakele ngala tento akono nga men soto doron kata mabbanki alhamdulillah be nga men mabal alhamdulillah ngala tento akola bake ngaja tentu robe dangola ngontanta ko la ninna molbe nga bayole sang ni nga bayo sang nga karo sang nga julo sang nga powder sang nga soda sang nga sama nga naka funyo majang ninna kurpu mole na nga kafunyo majang nga karo bula ni nga bula doro ngaja naja ta nga wafi molma ha ni nga kiliano soto dawoda lafita kola le mbabe do kula mariela ni nga obe sang nga ko do sambanga ta ma banki nga karo nga powder sumanne nga soda sumang nga soda sumang nga powder sumang nga keje ha nga jeel to lotato nga karo bulang nga jeel ko lotato na fajita nga na ke karo kon ha nga karo kyaka aje men fay nga ni men soto moli banko kan ndul fane nga ni soto aje nga ni soto bakel o nga ni fanam bolo to no malata fanan nga bula no ma nga ni fasu timma na cubol ka sanne kay na cubol jartal de na cubol jarta momo ni cuboje du karni lafta do yonku mande lafta la yafo ajaye aba flantol yel ni momo lafta ni na do yaaje do laftal yembonde kumpale yafo ajaye aja badi len la mbe makoy la aben ko la fonye.
We are at Balangar Kendari community, one of the very many communities being sponsored by Tresor Women Warriors.
We also, particularly in the entrepreneurship sector of the Tresor Warrior Women, we have set up a lot of businesses all across the country. We own convenience stores.
gis nga lii congom bii nii mu ne seen xale yi dematuñ fenn ñu ngi dindi kere taxaw ñu ca jaay leen gi nga jus bii ni tiyaar dafa maye ndox yaram yëpp ñu ci dafa dikk jaay xale yi biscuit bi mu ngi nii yëpp daf koo jaay gi nga lii vitali la fay laan dem si dëkk bi da laa bëgg meew xamatuñ waaye fu ne ni ku ñu jaay meew ñu lekk meew ku ñu jaay meew ñu lekk meew meew yaa ngi nii gis nga li yëpp carton meew la ataay baa ngi nii suga saa ngi nii yëpp lu ñuy def si togg daal yëpp mu ngi fi fu ne daal dematuñ fenn fu ne daal jërëjëf fa yàlla dem fenn leen demut fenn dematuñ ko mburu bi mu ngi nii fu dee cere sax duñ ko lekk bu waxee ñu ne cere dagg fi fa jeex lii yëpp ñun jàmbaare jigéen ñoo ko waral.
Our women traders, commodity traders all across the country. And these are all part of the success story of the Tresor Warrior Women. But particularly what we are most proud of is self-realization. The women really knowing that they matter, knowing that they are part of this society, and in uplifting themselves to be really courageous, and particularly not only uplifting themselves but working to uplift other women. I think to me that is one of our greatest achievements. And for women to collaborate, women to support each other, women to love each other, women to be the keepers of each other, and most importantly, to uplift other women to financial freedom.
If you go to one of the villages, you will find 3 established women groups. A number of villages have now formed several groups. Ajikumba and your group vice president, I am extending appreciation.
When you know, you teach. And when we know, we do better. And for that reason, when we have been blessed with information, when we have achieved success, and the things that we have achieved success in, we have to teach other people. And that's the reason why Tresor Warrior Women is big on mentorship. And our women are great mentors because they build successful enterprises. And in building these successful enterprises, they go on to uplift other women to build successful enterprises. And also, most importantly, to just inspire other women to have the audacity to think beyond their circumstances, because as women, I always say we cannot change the circumstances of our birth as women, but we can change the outcome of our circumstances of our situation. So for that reason, being able to other women to look up to you and say, how have you been able to achieve success? And you walk them through the process and become their sponsor. Not only become a mentor to them, but become a sponsor, because a sponsor goes beyond mentorship. The sponsor mentions your name when you are not even in the room. Your sponsor actually looks for opportunity for you even when you are not present. And I think the Tresor Warrior Women, that's one of our strongest points in advocating for our women, in ensuring that women have access to financing, in ensuring that wherever our women are taken care of, we take care of our women. We ensure that not only do they build themselves, you have to build yourself and build somebody else. It's a requirement. So that's why the mentorship part is also another very key important element and part of the Tresor Women Warrior. And our women are actually so empowered right now and doing great things. They're moving from one communities to another. Women that never left their communities are being empowered now to live beyond their perimeters. And this is all what they have seen. Like, for example, we have this great network that women all across the country, and we share best practices about what works in some of the communities. Why are some of the women very, very successful? So we bring that into the other communities and help the women, and also bring some of our very, very champions and our presidents, we call them, in other communities to share best practices and help each other grow. So mentorship is huge with the Tresor Women Warriors.
In the past, we did not know how to even ride a donkey, and cart to go get our groundnuts. We did not know how to go to the local market and sell our own produced soap. We did not know how we would pay for school fees. All we did was eat and drink. But today in Nyamina, what women now know has transformed us. We now know how to rear chicks, so thank you to Tresor Women Warriors.
The Treasure Women Warriors of Mahmud Fana community are here waiting to welcome their president, Ajikumba Dafe.
Treasure Warrior Women, it's all about uplifting women to financial freedom. And in order to do that, women need to have access to financing. And it's one of the major challenges for women building enterprises in the Gambia and all over the world, not only in the Gambia, but all over the world. And when women are able to have access to cheap money, I call it cheap money, they will be able to run successful and sustainable businesses. And this is where Treasure Warrior Women comes in. We actually seed our women. We give them the funding to establish their own businesses. And through this funding, these women build successful businesses. And not only do we fund them, but we fund them to fund other women. So this is the ways of the Treasure Women Warriors.
Treasure Warrior Women.
Tresor Warrior Women.
7,000 jigen leng.
Tresor Women Warriors consist of 7,000 women across the entire country, and the amount of people that have written to join the group, I cannot even count. In 2020, we built a $7 million building as our Treasure Women Warriors headquarters, located in Kiang, Quinella. The office building is for the women's group. Anyone that meets us there would know that Tresor Women Warriors are a serious group. The bank that you are seeing next to us is a pilot project. It is a few women that built it. If this microfinance project became successful, people will come from everywhere to learn from the Mahmud Fana experience.
Another big milestone in the Treasure Women Warriors is the establishment of the Visaka, which is the Village Savings and Credit Association. And it's almost a bank. And the Treasure Warrior Women, we established a Visaka, Village Savings and Credit Association. And this funding mechanism, this microfinance mechanism, allows women to apply for funding to start their own businesses. And Treasure Warrior Women just actually established that. And we are so proud. This is going to be our first pilot to pilot a Visaka. And we are very, very proud of it. And we will pilot this for a year. And if it is successful, we will actually move it all across the country. And this is in collaboration with the Visaka Apex, which is the body the regulatory body that answers to the central bank. This is a collaboration with them. And after we pilot this, we will actually move it all across the country in other communities as well. Because we believe that for women to be able to build successful businesses, they have to have access to cheap money. And the Treasure Warrior Women really advocates for access to finance, for women to be able to be empowered and to set up and run successful businesses that could the test of time. So this is big and this is huge, and this is a big milestone and a big achievement to the Treasure Women Warriors.
Kadonia cross Gambia musol nyatota wala mkeola nyatotati.
If we are to observe in the Gambia, we will realize that the empowerment of women is also beneficial to the men of this country. In the past, we once had a village saving and credit program, and it was beneficial to the community. If that was the case, then this new initiative should be embraced. We say welcome and thank you. We want you to know that all the leaders of this country are praying for longevity and good health for the members of the crew. I have faith that this initiative will receive God's blessings.
After all of these things that we are involved in, I think it's very, very critical to advocate for policy that is critical to women in terms of representation for women, and also for women to be on the decision-making table. So the Tresor Warrior Women, when we build women in leadership, we're also building these women to represent women in the National Assembly, to represent women in tables, in policy making, and the things that are important to women. We will champion for the aspiration of women and to be able to be included in policy making in this country in terms of what we talk about banking and microfinance, in terms of women and agriculture, in terms of also women in politics. And also we talked about the championing the ban of the importation of poultry products in the Gambia. These are all ways and means that the Tresor Women can advocate for these policies, but most importantly, also to advocate for women in divorce cases, to advocate for women in inheritance cases, and so that women will get a fair share of what they're entitled to. So basically, and also one of the great things that we did also to get into the prison system. The Tresor Warrior Women is now in the prisons. We have Tresor Warrior Women in the prisons. So eventually we will be able to advocate for these women, and hopefully at some point to be able to advocate for the release if these women have been rehabilitated. So basically we want to be able to advocate for everything and to impact policies that will really help women to become their best selves, and they are also included in the national pie, and we're able to be also regarded as partners, particularly as equal partners in national development. Women do matter, and yes, women's lives do matter, and also particularly in the health sector too as well. Women's lives matter.
I would want the entire group membership to know the work that we have started in Nyamina will benefit us women, so that we will become self-reliant. Tresor Women Warriors has taken us women of Nyamina from sitting around and being idle. We now show love and affection towards one another. We will work together and push forward. To those that started this journey with us, every village involved has increased its membership numbers.
When we talk about championing for women, it's a women-led organization, and it's the vision of a woman who said women can make a difference. And the Tresor Warrior Women was financed by me and my husband, Adamaka. Up till today, the financing has been me and my husband. But we have also invited women who are very, very impressed with the work that the Tresor Warrior Women are doing. And some women have approached us and said, I want to lift the women of the village that I came from. And these women wanted to finance that uplifting of those women. So we've allowed those women to do that. Also, we've had women who are really inspired by the work that we do. And particularly the microfinance and Visaka that I talked about. We had actually women who wanted to be our partners in this. Absolutely great women My twin sister, Aji Dafe, is a major shareholder in the microfinance in Mamurfana. Also, our vice president of the Tresor Warrior Women, Jenabu Musa Dabo, is a major investor also as well in the women microfinance. We also have another sister, Isaac Jallo, also wanted to be, a major investor. And also we have Fatmata Jomma, who wanted to also invest in the women bank that we're establishing. And also my brother Alaji Dafe wanted to be an investor. So in a nutshell, the Tresor Warrior Women, me and my husband are the main the main people who finance the Tresor Women Warriors. And then now a lot other people are also reaching out to us and saying, how can I be a partner to the Tresor Warrior Women? So the Tresor Warrior Women is now opening to the possibility of people coming in and investing in the Tresor Women Warriors. We talked about the criteria of becoming a Tresor Warrior Woman. It's actually, we're proud warriors. You know, when we talk about Tresor Women Warriors, brave, being a survivor, come as you are, even the more broken, the better. Survivors, if you're a survivor, if you have what it takes, if you're kind, if you not only want to uplift yourself, but most importantly to uplift others, you are a Tresor Women Warrior. If you think beyond yourself, you are a Tresor Women Warrior. If you are somebody who wants to change this world, you are a Tresor Women Warrior. Anybody could be a Tresor Warrior Woman. Everyone is a Tresor Women Warrior. The Tresor Warrior Women wants more people to join us to change lives, and to change the lives of Gambian women, to change the lives of children in this country, and to be people who also change the dynamics of this country. So for this, we ask you to join us in changing lives. We ask you to become partners with the Tresor Warrior Women. We're also asking people to be collaborators. Join us to change lives.
Suma jabar moko joxe témé ako ara muso nay ke modou man na jël 25 mu yok ci $50.
When I give my wife $100 now, she would probably add $25 or $50 to it. This is all because of Ajikumba. If we did not have such support, I would not be able to do much. Before, she would buy only what the money given could afford. So today, when such initiatives are realized, then I must be happy. Anything that would take Mahmoud Fana forward, I shall be involved.
It feels like we've already seen the future. And judging by what we have seen and the women of the Tresor Warrior Women, how excited they are, and the future that they're creating for themselves and the opportunities that they're creating for themselves today. The future that we envision is we build financial institutions in this country. We become major players in agriculture, and we become very important a part of society. And we also, our women, will champion for great things in this country. We envision a future we build a lot of millionaires, women millionaires in this country. We envision a future where Tresor Warrior Women will be a key player and a pillar in this country. We also envision that women in this country become all warriors. We also envision a future where women of the Tresor Women Warrior, the sky is not even the limit. We will conquer all the aspirations that we have listed and rise up to be an economic power in this country. Economic power. We want to be an economic power in this country.
You could have stayed in America and could have chosen to not assist us. The whole country now knows about Tresor Women Warriors and where it all started from. If you go to Balanga, Banjul, Brusubi, and Bundung, there is nowhere you would go in the greater Banjul area and not find women warriors. So if what you are doing now is taken up by others, then women will progress in the Gambia. Women of this country are hardworking and all they need is support.
Know that we will fall, but we will dust ourselves. We will rise up to the challenges that threaten us every single day. We will become survivors. We tell them to be strong and beat all the odds. And everything that we do is difficult, but we don't look at the difficulty. We look at the outcome of what we are trying to achieve. And there's the Tresor Warrior Men, our slogan is Demrek. We're not looking back. It doesn't matter whatever happens. There is no stopping. We will forge ahead. We are strong. We are givers. We are survivors. And we are warriors. And our name, Jambari Jigeni, really speaks to exactly who we are. So let's forge on. Let's tread on, and let us bring a lot of our women folks to the horizon and beyond the horizon. Let's continue moving on. Demrek, no stopping us.